Today we're honored to have a true trailblazer and an everyday woman. Norma Yaeger is here. You were the first woman to walk on the floor of the New York stock market. Tell us what that felt like.
Well, I was part of a training program, and they usually have the trainees walk on the floor of the exchange so that they learn how the exchange operates. Well, I was the first woman in the class, and they said, well, we can't allow the class to go. She can't go. So they asked me to stay home, and I said, no way. And they made a deal that if I walk on the floor of the exchange, I had to go in before it opened, and after it closed, I could leave. So that was the compromise that we made. And the reason they gave is they didn't have ladies' rooms.
Oh, boy.
So we managed to work that out.
You managed to hold it, right?
Yes, yes.
Get around that. Well, let's start from the very beginning because, you know, back in the day, we talk about the women's movement now, and we owe so much to people like you, women like you, who really set the motions to what we're able to do today. Because, you know, so much about the women's rights movement today is about talking about abortion and things like that. But, you know, for you, like you're talking about, just being able to walk into, you know, a building, an office, and be able to be taken seriously. You had also fought for equal pay, and, you know, that's something we're still fighting for today.
Absolutely.
But for you, you actually got it.
Well, when I finished my training, and my manager called me in, and he said, you know, we are in a predicament. We don't know what to pay a woman. We've never hired a woman before to be a stockbroker, so what do we do? I said, well, why is that a problem? I'm doing the same work the men are doing. I attend the class, I have to sell stocks and bonds and so on. And he said, well, they have families and they have car fare, they have lunches, and you know, they have the expenses to come to work. I said, well, I'm coming to work because I also have the same expenses and I have to help my family, and that's why I'm working. Otherwise, I would stay home with them. So I said to him, you know, I have the same expenses, and I even have to hire a wife.
Oh my gosh, and that's the truth.
And it took them back. And you see, the answer is not to fight. The answer is to give him a good reason why you're entitled to more. And I was entitled to the equal pay because I had the same expenses, and I had an additional expense. So he gave it to me, and I ended up earning exactly what the other trainees were earning. And it made a very big difference because it opened the door for many of the future stockbroker women stockbrokers, to be able to come in and have equal pay.
Well, speaking of, just as you explained, you had to hire a wife because you started out, you had gotten married, thought you were going to be at home raising the children, and then what happened with the dynamic with your husband?
Well, my husband was not doing well financially, and I did have to go and help supplement in the family. And at that time, you know, it was secretaries and nurses and so on, and I didn't have that education. I wasn't going to be able to help and get a job, nor were the jobs available for women at that time. There were very few jobs. Now we have airline pilots, and we have police women and firefighters and army women and so on. So there are so many opportunities today for women. In my time, there wasn't any. Fortunately, this door opened for me to join the training program, and now I had to start on a commission basis, not only income, but commission, to be able to help support the family. So today, what we need to do is educate the women to do these jobs, and they're capable.
Well, Norma, you've talked so much about breaking down the walls, and that's actually the title of the book that you have.
Yes.
And I really encourage all of us women to look at this book. What made you want to write the book and write down all of your memories?
Actually, I was encouraged to do so by my husband because he felt that I should have some story about my life, since it was breaking down many walls for women, that the family should have something to remember me by. Well, when I started to do that, I was told I need a publicist in order to have the book published. So I got a publisher. She read the book. She says, oh, my God, this book has to come out. She says, this is a wonderful book for women.
Well,
and not only women, but men need to know where women have come from.
Absolutely, because like you said, you had to hire a wife, so
That's
you were doing
right.
it all. So we absolutely need to encourage all women to read this book and know where we come from and know the struggles that people like you have fought for us. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Norma. And that's Norma Yaeger, Breaking Down the Walls. We'll be back with Every Way Woman.